Congratulations to Phil Emery, the new Bears general manager. Now quickly go get a wide receiver, an offensive lineman, and a backup quarterback. This week, we talked to Robin Ventura, the new White Sox manager at Sox Fest. We also talked to a Chicago Bull who gets great cheering at the end of games. Now he'd like it earlier. We flash back to the Chicago Cubs from years gone by. You'll know these guys. And some trivia from a couple years back at Salerno's this week on the Spotlight. Check out my website, benkowski.com, for my weekly article and up-to-the-minute trivia sites. From wherever Chicago's sports teams are making news, this is the 23rd year of the Lansing Floral Sports Spotlight. Flowers for every imaginable occasion at Lansing Floral Shop. Call them at 708-474-1212. They deliver. The Dirty Sock has my trivia games Wednesday, January 25th, and Thursday, February 2nd, both at 7:30 p.m. It's at 93rd and Roberts Road. They have great food, great drink, and great fun. Like to see you at the Dirty Sock. Want to get a haircut from a great hairstylist? Call mine, Rose Murillo, 312-726-2201. With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. Be safe with Sureway Insurance Company, 3312 North Milwaukee. Call my friend Jean at 773-282-2022. She has the answers on your auto, home, business, life coverage, including SR22 coverage drivers. Call Sureway Insurance.
Hi, my name is Rose, and I've been a skilled hairstylist for over 10 years. I specialize in men's haircuts and in corrective color. Come visit me at Salon 203 at 203 North LaSalle, 312-726-2201. And while you're at it, come in and get a shoe shine and a shave. It's a great place where a man can be a man.
Since 1967, El Jardín has been serving the finest Mexican food. Before, after, or during ball games, located conveniently just 3 blocks south of Wrigley Field, 3335 North Clark. Whether there's a game or not, you still get hungry, and El Jardín has great service, great food, and great drinks. I've enjoyed every meal I've had there, and you will too. So get to El Jardín for great Mexican food at 3335 North Clark Street in Chicago. You'll be glad you did. We're back in the Spotlight. Of course, it's Sox Fest 2012. And what better place to start than with a new manager? It's been a while, and certainly it's a dramatic difference. Ozzie Guillen was like nobody else. The raw nerve, the quote machine, the guy who we had to put the bleeps on, the guy who would be in our face if he didn't like the question. That happened a little bit too much for my taste, actually, in 2011, but that's just me. Anyway, a guy I've always respected greatly as when he played, both defensively, offensively, and with a straightforwardness, and that's Robin Ventura, the new manager. He brings some great credentials as a solid power hitter, one of the ultimate Grand Slam hitters in baseball history, with more Grand Slams than people like Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, etc. And that's part of the Q&A in our segment with Robin. We also talk about his approach to hitting and his approach to a new team. And there's some unknowns, but you'll hear from the horse's mouth. 2012 New Sox manager. Here's Robin. As you advise players on nuances of their game, maybe a hitting tip here and there, how about the art of the Grand Slam, one of your specialties?
Well, I mean, you know, Paul's pretty good at it, so I don't have to, that's just something that guys are going to hopefully have their own thing that they do well. And, you know, I don't know if that's a spectacular position for me to be in as far as being able to give a guy a tip on how to actually do that. I wish I knew how to do that, but
Well, you know you're high on that list.
I'm high on that list, but I don't know how I got on that list. So if I knew, then I'd be able to share something.
But you wouldn't be shy about offering a batting tip around the cage if you saw something?
There's going to be stuff flying everywhere. I don't know if they're tips or anything else, but confident in what we do as a staff. We're trying to help everybody get better, and that's number one.
Plans and advice for Adam?
No, I'm just let him come in and get ready. I mean, and obviously my experience comes from playing. I never felt the same every year coming into spring training. So I'm more, I'm not concerned, but I'm looking more at how he's thinking more than anything else. So I'm going to let him just play, and we'll figure it out when he starts playing.
Since 1955, Rosangela's Pizza has been there for you at 95th in California, across from Little Company Mary Hospital. You can call them at 708-422-2041. Everything homemade, including the sauce. Great beef and meatball sandwiches, pasta, chicken, seafood, desserts. Dine in for lunch and dinner. Rosangela's, 95th in California. It's always the season for Riley's Trick Shop at 6442 West 111th in Worth. Or you can call them at 708-448-0075. Right now they have football strip cards, a wide selection of Halloween costumes and tricks and treats. And then for later in the year, Santa suits. So for all your needs, especially Halloween, Riley's Trick Shop on 111th Street. Nuevo Leon, for the best Mexican cuisine since 1962. Serving every day from 7 a.m. to midnight, conveniently located 1515 West 18th Street, just a block east of Ashland in Chicago. Of course, they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a wide range of menu items. Everything from steak, seafood, to breakfast, to chicken, pork, dine-in, carry-out, tacos, enchiladas, everything you can imagine, and great quality at Nuevo Leon, 1515 West 18th. You've got to call Vince's Towing. If you need road service, flatbed service, or you want the highest price paid to you for a junk car, call 773-581-7647. They did a great job for me, and they'll do it for you. Call Vince's Towing, 773-581-7647. We had no idea he was that excellent of an interview subject. Brian Scalabrine, who didn't play much when there were no injuries, playing more now that there are injuries, and has a lot to say about the current crop of Bulls. Just want to kind of get a vibe from you about this point in the season. In addition to the condensed schedule, you got some injuries to deal with. There's a lot of, it's kind of a pressure-packed time for your team.
I mean, it's just like any other season. You know, there's going to be guys that go down with injuries, guys that get sick, guys that, you know, those type of things are going to happen. And in the regular season, guys can step up, and with, you know, we have a good foundation, we have a good coaching staff, and our players know how to play. So it's sometimes those type of things become like an opportunity for other people to step up.
That's a healthy way to look at it. Also, maybe in a roster with some greater depth, it's a little easier to weather such a storm.
Yeah, you know, the biggest thing is the positions being like the bigs. You know, you have to fill in with guys that know what they're doing. And the point guard, and CJ is a very good point guard, and, you know, obviously he's not Derrick Rose, the MVP, but he can run the offense, and he can score the ball, and he can get other guys involved. He can make plays. So, you know, like I said, with guys going down and getting hurt in the regular season, you have to be able to step up, and those are marks of good teams.
Well, you've got a lot of experience in the league. Certainly you can step up and see additional minutes. How do you feel when the crowd calls for you and seems enthused about your appearance?
Well, I mean, that's totally different than what we're talking now. Like, if I was to step up and get minutes today, it would be like, you know, real quality minutes. Like, you know, usually when the crowd's doing that, it's, you know, we've already have the game in hand. But right now, it's like I got to be focused on more of the guys, the scouting report, and understanding what we need to do. But, you know, I'm a pro, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm going to be ready.
In terms of interior defense, let's say, what are some of the challenges that the Pacers bring to the table?
Well, they have length, first of all, and you know, I think they're the #1 offensive rebounding team in the NBA. So, you know, anytime a team is good like that, it's going to present problems. But the key is just the perimeter players, you know, keeping them, not letting the guys drive, which they throw the ball up, and you go and help out, and the bigs come and crash. So you can keep them outside and you can keep the ball under control, then you always have a good chance.
Of your current roster, people that maybe you hadn't played with before but had played against, who impresses you where you didn't even realize how good they were till you were their teammate?
I think all the guys. I mean, from Derek to Lou to Boozer to Ronnie Brewer, Kyle Korver. I mean, all these guys on our team, especially even like Joakim Noah, like you realize that not only are they very good players, they can score the ball and they can do those things, but they also do the little things extremely well. And even like guys like Omir, I came here and he was a rookie, and he's an exceptional player. I mean, a lot of teams would love to have a guy like that, a guy whose position defense is always in the right position, and then a guy who can man up. He can guard a guy like Dwight Howard. I mean, that's an impressive feat in this league. And but everyone here on this team has impressed me with what they can do. And like I said, it's just a mark of a good team.
To wrap up, there's some intangibles that go with winning a championship. You know them. Rip knows them. But a lot of your teammates need to know them. What are some of those things that you try to teach your teammates about getting to the next step?
I think the biggest thing is Coach Thibodeau implements those things. He keeps us on edge to play at the highest level every night. We're not, I mean, we are playing Indiana tonight, and we had to prepare. We're playing Indiana, but we're playing against ourselves. We're playing against the elite teams, the Miami Heat, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, what you're doing is going to be your best effort every night to win a championship. And when you have that attitude and you play every possession that way, and it's hard in the NBA with so many possessions, so many games, back-to-back 4 and 5, whatever. But if you have that mindset, it's a makeup of a championship team. And I think we have that. I think we have that attitude. We have that mindset. It's just a matter of going out and doing it, executing, being focused for 48 minutes, those type of things. Those are what championship teams are built on.
I'm throwing this last question in because you made me think of it. Kyle Korver mentioned it last week. Your team is particularly coachable. I don't see much attitude, the kind of people who might shut out the coach. Everybody seems to be listening and kind of on the same page.
Well, I think that if you, historically speaking, if you look at the NBA, it's going to follow your leaders, and we have phenomenal leaders. If you look at Lou Aldang, Derrick Rose, those guys will do anything that Tom Thibodeau asks them to do. So, I mean, who am I to question what the coach is saying if Derrick Rose, who's the best player in the NBA, is doing exactly what he wants, and Thibodeau holds Derrick Rose accountable just as much as he holds the 13th man accountable. So those are like I said, those are marks of a championship team, and we're all coachable because of our leaders, and our leaders are second to none in this league for leadership abilities.
Appreciate that, Brian. Thanks.
With a 30-year Southwest Side tradition, Huck Finn is open 24 hours to serve you with great breakfasts like the Becky Thatcher, soups, great lunches, 1/3 pound burgers, clubs, and much more. Dinners from seafood to steaks to pasta, great donuts, and ice creams. With 3 locations at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero. Stop in today. You know Huck Finn is open. You've got to get to Lansing Floral Shop. Open at 8 a.m. daily. Besides a great array of live flowers, they have custom silks, Bridgewater candles. They want you to plan your parties early at a wide delivery area. They're located at 3420 Ridge Road in Lansing, or you can call 708-474-1212. Weddings, funerals, birthdays, anniversaries, and guys, try the No Reason flower. Believe me, it works. Lansing Floral Shop. Give them a call, 708-474-1212. You've got to get to Kelly's Tavern. I had a wonderful time there on that snowstorm Friday, and it can only get better. It's at 4403 South Wallace. It's my new Hot Southside Trivia site. I'll be there again February 3rd and February 17th at 8 p.m. It's a great game with fun people. You can come out, have a beer and play, bring some friends, and there's room in the game for you. Kelly's Tavern, 4403 South Wallace. Come play in the area's classiest billiard center, Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet Avenue in Munster, 2 blocks south of 8094. Selling the most famous names of pool tables and billiard equipment. Specializing in table recovery and moving of tables. A complete pro shop with the most brand names of cues and cases. Celebrating over 20 years, excellence, top billiard tables, the place where the action is, Jukebox Billiards, 7910 Calumet in Munster.
We're back a couple of years ago, flashing back to Jim Hendry signing Carlos Zambrano to gigantic money. It's funny to look at, to me.
Obviously, to be here today. I can't say enough good things about the people involved to help get this done at a very difficult and unusual time of year to do this kind of an extension with a obviously one of the marquee pitchers in the game and certainly the marquee free agent in the industry. And it's a great testimony to Carlos and his representatives, led by Barry Praver up here. Obviously, we worked a lot in the off season through a lot of difficult circumstances for the company. John McDonough and Crane Kenny and Dennis Fitzsimons never wavered on us wanting to have Carlos in the fold. It wasn't done through everybody's knowledge and why in March. Certainly the relationship factor that Carlos has with all of us in the Cubs was vital to us getting this done. I don't know of too many cases in history that a young man would have passed up the opportunity to hit the streets, and I think we all know there was bigger pots of gold out there for him. The higher market clubs in need of great young pitching, the market certainly would have been totally significant. It's a great example of a young man talking the talk and then walking the walk. He made it clear that he was not leaving the Cubs. This is where he wanted to be. John and I never stopped in pursuit of getting it done. Carlos always assured me that he wanted to stay here and he wanted to win here. You know, lesser character people, representative-wise, Barry and Carlos would have done a lot of squawking about why it wasn't done earlier, and probably would have gone out and tested the market, and then even if we'd have been given first shot, the dollars would have been at an astronomical level, I think, by November. I certainly think this clears up any negativity which was so undeserved toward the Tribune Company. I've said this many a times. Dennis Fitzsimons has never, ever, ever given me any reason as a general manager to not feel that he wasn't all in the pursuit of winning and winning big here. Even on the company's way out of owning the club, Dennis, first and foremost, wanted to make sure that the organization was in the best possible shape moving forward. And as a general manager, what he's done here, allowing me to finish this contract with Carlos, is tremendous. Like I said, John was put in a tough spot as a new president, and we all went through some rough times since spring training, not just in this contract, but a lot of uncertainty. But our goals are still to do exactly what we said all along we're going to do and continue to try to do, and that's win and win big. And this was a long road, but it wasn't a rocky road. Like I said, Carlos never wavered on what he wanted to do. And honestly, in fairness to him, the other thing I would like to clear up is Barry and I were together probably the last 10 or 12 days. These things take a while once we got restarted again. And I did our best to try to conclude it before Carlos pitched the other day. But when sometimes a long, great relationship, when you get close to the finish line, then both sides have principles and mutual respect. But sometimes at the end, the final touches are even harder because of the relationship you have. You want the other side to give a little at the end. They think you should give a little at the end because of, we've been doing this together for such a long time. But I think it had a negative effect the other day before the ball game. There was no injury to Carlos Zambrano, and he's certainly tough enough to get through a lot of things. But we were so close the other day that I don't think any human being wouldn't have had that weigh on his mind a little bit. So we're done. We're thrilled to have him. I think you're going to see him establish himself. His better years are ahead. I think we're all looking today at the Cubs knowing that we're going to have one of the top pitchers in baseball for a long time now. So I want to say a special thanks myself to John and once again to Dennis, who went way beyond the call of duty here, allowing us to finish this off in the middle of August. It's almost hard to believe that you could do a contract like this at this time of year, and I'm very grateful to Barry and his partners, and certainly to Carlos, who in this case makes the final decision. So.
I eat on the pasta twice just...
Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria at Grand and Racine is the place to go before United Center Pavilion, Bulls, Hawks, Cubs, and Sox too. Dine in or carry out with great family recipes, including homemade pastas, steaks, seafood, a great fun bar area. Meet people, have a tremendous time. At Salerno's Restaurant and Pizzeria, Grand and Racine, you'll find a great variety of foods for you to enjoy at Salerno's. Go play at Red Shoes Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski in Alsip, featuring 16 Brunswick Gold Crown pool tables, drop fluorescent lighting fixtures, and the fabulous grade of cloth. Call 708-388-3700. That's Red Shoe Billiards, 12009 South Pulaski. Lanigan's Irish Pub is the place to be at 3119 West 111th Street, right by Kedzie. Live music on Sunday with Fast Eddie. Drink specials daily, including $1.50 domestic bottles on Thursday, $3 Guinness on Tuesday. Call for karaoke information on Friday. Party room, too. All that available at Lanigan's Irish Pub, 3119 West 111th Street on the beautiful south side of Chicago. Get there, Lanigan's Irish Pub. Lindy's Chili, Gertie's Ice Cream at 110th and Kedzie has it all. From fresh-made burgers, fries, hot dogs, chicken, turkey, Polish, shrimp, tuna, barbecue, ham, tamales, quesadillas. They've got salads and plenty of ice cream with sundaes, banana splits, and seasonal favorites. Get all these things at Lindy's Chili, which is where I start, 110th and Kedzie. We're back on the spotlight. We go back to 2008, the Salerno Championship match. And here's the end of it. Paul McCartney and Heather Mills, amazingly, not in the top. Donald Trump, Ivana Trump, no. They got the Jordans right, both of them. Ted Turner, Jane Fonda, no. Mick Jagger and Bianca, no. They wagered $491. Let's do the math here. It's 500 plus 9. They finished with 269. They're in second right now. We continue. Nice round of applause for the Irish Car Bombs. They also play at Sam Maguire's in Orland. They play locations. Sauk Trail is right. Byron is a great try. It just, in that particular street, it happens to be Sheridan, as we indicated earlier. Speedway gas station, you're good. They said Westinghouse High School. That's on Franklin. So sorry. And they said Huntley. No. You got 2, you needed 4. They wagered all but 1, so their final score is 1. It's a lonely number. All right, so we continue. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams are in. You could cut the tension with a knife. Nice round of applause for J&B. J&B. They are a top team that plays at TC's Pub at 97th and Cicero every other Thursday, 9 o'clock. Go there if you like verbal abuse. No, I'm kidding. It's a game with a little bit of flavor. But I know you teams can all dish it out. NFL. Denver, yes.
Chiefs in Miami, yes. The rushing team from 78, 31-65. Rams, no. 14 points, too high. Rams and 49ers, no. They got 2 right. They wagered 531. They go to 639, and they take the lead with 6:39 right now. What a ball game. Holy cripe. Nice round of applause for the Mulligan Mashers. Mulligan Mashers, they won it 2 years ago. You can get to Roscoe and Damon every other Friday for that fine event. Paul McCartney, Heather Mills, so sorry. Harrison Ford, Melissa, correct. And correct. Steven Spielberg, Amy Irving, correct and correct. Michael Jordan and Juanita, yes. Donald Trump, Marla Maples, no. Oh, you were so close. You were one man away. They wagered everything. Thanks very much for a valiant effort. Wow. And it's all up to the Chicago Sharks from Salerno's. Shy Sharks every other Thursday right here at Salerno's. They played NFL. Denver Broncos, correct. Chiefs in Miami, correct. In 1978, this team rushed for 3,165 yards. They said New England, correct. Average margin of victory, 15.7, no. It's all down to this. $113 points. They chose the teams. They said New York Giants, correct. Washington Redskins, correct. They wagered 11-11. They go to 23-61, and that wins this championship. The Chicago Sharks are the champions for 2008. Thanks for watching. See you next week.
This week's show has been brought to you by the Lansing Floral Shop. Call for your flowers at 708-474-1212. Huck Finn, a great wide-ranging menu, along with donuts and ice cream. Open 24 hours at Archer and Damon, 67th and Pulaski, and 105th and Cicero.
Imprint Graphics, leaders in booklet, perfect bound saddle stitch. Very competitive pricing, 708-396-1010.